Emily Van Landingham, VANLANDINGHAM, as in Mary. I am the current VP of Communications and incoming president for the New Orleans chapter. I came to the Louisville conference because I honestly missed everyone. It has been since the conference in 2017 in Newport Beach, California. Um, and we needed to get together. The energy. I'm supposed to. You're going to edit this out anyway. Um, What I hope to take away from this conference is the energy, that all these women bring to this conference and this organization. I am looking forward to going home with a new zest for all the things I'm gonna do and tackle. I think DOMs who have not been to the conference should seriously consider attending. Um, for so many reasons. It really is life changing. It's empowering. It's beautiful. The friendships that you build year after year, from city to city, and all the chapters and all the different sub industries within the food and hospitality industry as a whole. The connection building, right? It's a national scope, international scope. Yesterday, I met the two ladies here from London. London. That's fun. I personally would love to see everyone in Phoenix. I've also never, like Louisville, Kentucky. This was my first time in Kentucky. I'm very excited to explore a new city. And I haven't been to Phoenix. And I'm probably going to spend the next year, being very intentional about the things that I'm going to do in my free time in between the conference events, and maybe intentionally choose who I want to do it with. Maybe some of the ladies from Atlanta, one of our sister chapters, and Cleveland and California. And that's the thing. Like you get to choose, right, from all of these special ladies, and 9 times out of 10, if you call them and you say, "Hey, I'd really love to have an hour with you. Can we make it happen?" They're like, "Yes, let's do it." So I'll see you in Phoenix.
It's Hao Tran, Haotran. I was really excited to be amongst women who were leaders of the industry, not only in hospitality and culinary, but writers and creators of a culture that I've always wanted to be part of. I am a culinary teacher, but I've had a previous 20 years of teaching science. So now I'm melding those two together. I also own a small local foods grocery store in Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, science and culinary are just a great marriage. You can't go wrong. Just fun. It's also has that brain set where you use both sides of your brain. So I am very lucky to do what I love to do. Absolutely. The Freud side kind of scared me a little bit, but then I realized, harnessing that with the creative side, my creative side was the therapy of all the math and science that I've always done. So yeah, it's been good. Yeah. The main thrust of this. I'm a brand new DOMS, and I wanted to jump right in and sign up for the conference. My goal was to reach out and to admire the women that I've always looked up to and learn from them. This is a organization that supports and encourages women that have been entrepreneurs, that have been leaders in their own right, And I really want to be inspired by that. This conference has really been a way for me to meet other women who have experience, who have worked in the industry, who are leaders in what they do. And given that, I want to learn from them, and then also make the connections in different parts of the U.S. that I have not been to, or even the world. Because if you open yourself up and be adventurous in your thought and improving yourself, this is a place to be.
Okay, my name is Leanne Bakunis, so it's Leighann, and then B as in boy, Akunas, as in Sam. Director of Food and Beverage for Yeti.
Austin.
I have been a member of the Les Dames Austin chapter for 2 years now, I believe. So, yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing to have a network of amazing women that I think are all like-minded and all working towards, I think, a bigger purpose. So that network, I think, as we all know, is just super impactful. It's powerful, it's inspiring. So having that group to be able to kind of connect with around all of the things that we're going through in the hospitality and food and beverage space. So it really is something that allows for all of us to be connected and really kind of serve a larger purpose to do the great work that is being done, I think, in these individual chapters and individual communities.
To get involved.
Yeah, so we worked together with the Les Dames Cafe International to create this Woman of Purpose Award. And it was really something that, again, was probably influenced by the work that I've been doing and kind of the folks that I've connected with from the Austin chapter to understand how much is being done across the globe through all of the chapters at the international level. And so it really was an inspiration for us to work with LDEI to create the Woman of Purpose Award, to really be able to give back to these communities, to give back to the women first and foremost, that are really out there doing such great work to make a difference in food justice, public health, and sustainability initiatives. And it's something that we all know is something for us that we want to make sure the future is just as equitable, is just as diverse, and just as powerful to be able to kind of do these things. There's something with Yeti that we always say, conservation and giving back and philanthropic initiatives has always been with us from the very beginning. Without land conservation, without water conservation, there's these communities that aren't going to be able to be doing the things that we are today. So it's the same in the hospitality industry to ensure that the food insecurities, all of the things that are going on in the hospitality industry have an opportunity to be better in the future. And so that is what the Women of Purpose Award really allows us to do, is to be able to support the work being done at the local level to ensure that, again, differences are going to be made. The future is going to be brighter for the next generation.
That's an attending conference.
Commerce allows you to connect with women, obviously, that you aren't connecting with at the local level. So you really do get to see the work, again, being done and hear the stories and be able to be inspired to kind of go back into your individual communities and chapters and take some of those learnings, take a lot of the connections that you're making. Obviously, as I mentioned, that is what and why it's so important to be a member, is that you get to make these connections within your community. And obviously, conference allows you to be able to make these connections at a larger global scale. And so that is where, power in numbers and being able to have those connections and make the ability to kind of do everything together. Because obviously, when we want to make a difference, we can do that together. And I think that is what conference allows, to be able to kind of forge those relationships, forge those connections, and have those contacts to further the goals and initiatives that we're all working towards.
That's awesome. Is there anything you want to tell me that I haven't asked?
Oh gosh. I'm not sure that's a really good question. I mean, I think there's always so much. I mean, I will say this, is that the work that's being done is such an inspiration. And I think that, Yeti's always been about storytelling. And it's something from our side, we want to be able to tell more stories. And I think that, when we go through the nominations for the Women of Purpose Award, I look at it every day being like, how do we tell more stories? How do we get these stories out there? Because it really is something. And my hope is obviously through the work of Les Dames, being able to share more of those stories and how we can get that out there, because every voice matters. And I know that every story has, an opportunity to be able to make a difference. And all of these women are working towards that, of making a difference. So the hope is that we can kind of continue to spread the word of the work being done. So that, again, we can all work together to kind of make our future generations a much better place. Well, yeah, we're super excited, obviously, for next year as well. It's always one of those things that every year we look forward to the conference. So our hope is that we'll get to see you all there, and that we will be able to kind of continue to create these relationships and celebrate the Women of Purpose Growth Grants that will be celebrated next year.
Hello, I am Shari Shobe, S-H-A-R-I, S-H-O-B as in Bobby, E as in elephant. You're welcome. A Legacy Award winner. I'm the Culinary Entrepreneur Legacy winner. I am a private chef and a caterer in Detroit. I received a phone call congratulating me on the experience, and it was amazing. I was in the middle of working, and it was so unexpected because it was actually 2 weeks early that we found out the results. Well, again, I'm a culinary entrepreneur, so that means I look at the culinary industry as a means of freedom, that I can kind of move and take on projects. And a few of the projects, notably my spice drive that I created a spice drive in the wake of the pandemic, and I did that to support my local food bank, which is Forgotten Harvest. And what I do is I collect hundreds and thousands of pounds of spices, and I donate them in time for the Thanksgiving holiday. So I partner with a few local small businesses, and I have donation boxes for those who rather donate a new and unused product. And then on social media, I put my Cash App or Zelle information out, and the donations that I collect, I in turn take all of those monies and purchase the spices that you would see in the promotional ads. So about thousands of pounds of spices from our local grocery store. So it's a kind of a recycling-like project. Thank you. Yes, spices are kind of the blueprint of who we are. Every family has a recipe, good, bad, and indifferent. And with that, just because you're down on your luck or food insecure doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to experience good quality food. So in turn, even with the monies, we go directly to get the salt-free and the higher end spices, so that the people who can't necessarily afford it will be able to have something better. And the spices definitely surpass the Thanksgiving holiday. We accept spices from all walks of life because everyone does not celebrate Thanksgiving the same. Where I'm at in my career, I am looking for mentorship. I'm looking for a kind of, like you said, just a reason to say that I'm on the right path. And I feel as if this opportunity has definitely given me that and then some. I've been able to have support with my philanthropic goals, but I also have support with my financial and business goals. So it's been an enriching process from start to finish. Before I was even nominated, I hadn't heard of the Les Dames, and actually, Dom L. Simone Scott of the Boston chapter sent me the information, and just knowing the caliber of woman she is and how influential she is to both myself and so many others, I jumped at the opportunity and wanted to at least make her proud that she saw this for me, so I got to see it for myself.
Sure. My name is Wanda Mann, W-A-N-D-A, last name M-A-N-N. I'm president of the New York chapter, so I don't know if you want to put, that might be the most appropriate. The founding chapter, the largest chapter. Yes, so it all started in New York in 1976. So, yeah, where it began.
All right, so
It's a really good question. I think it's a reminder that we're part of a larger collective of women. So even though New York is the largest chapter, we're just one of 44 with more than 2,600 women. So it's really important to connect with our fellow members, see what we have in common, but also how we can learn and empower each other and see what we can do good in the world together. Because that's really what La Dame is about. It's larger than any individual, any chapter. It's about helping women beyond our organization. I think what I'm taking away, it's never too late no matter where you are in your career. Some of us are relatively new La Dame, some of us are a little more seasoned, as I like to say. You can always learn something new that you can apply to help your chapter grow and also help your business, and you grow personally. So hearing from people who are writers, who are chefs, who are entrepreneurs, we can all apply little tidbits to what we do back home. Look, I mean, this is my first time in the beautiful city of Louisville and in Kentucky. I think it reminds us that we're a mosaic, right? So just as our country is, we're all bringing different flavors, different cultural traditions, different ways of interacting and doing things. And I just think it's exciting to step out of your own comfort zone and your own bubble. So we're bonded by being La Dame, but we all bring our own flavor and culture to it as well.
Say and spell my name. Grace, Grace. Aguilar, Aguilar. I like entrepreneur. Yeah, better say Grace. So I was wanting to apply a couple years back, but I just found that it wasn't the right timing for me. I was working in kitchens, and you're working so many hours, and it's hard to take off if I would win, I had the possibility of winning. So I waited. And I feel like because I waited, the patience allowed me to win this award. I live my life with no expectations. I believe that expectations they can either be, it could exceed or disappoint you. So I just go in it with no expectations. It exceeded everything that I thought it would be. Just the amount of support and connection within women in the industry, especially when I come from working in male-dominated kitchens. It's very refreshing to really share that with other women that have done it for years and can share all of their experience with me. Yeah. Like I said, being in this industry, it is a lot of holding secrets. You hold your recipes, and you hold those like branding secrets that make or break your company that you usually would keep because that's the sauce to who you are. And so having these women around me that are so willing to share is refreshing. And I don't know, I'm just excited for what's to come. Yeah, I want to tell LD, thank you so much. I feel like I've gained 1,000 mothers, 1,000 sisters, 1,000 cousins that are from all around the world, and I really appreciate you.
Okay. Emma Cromedy, EMMA, Cromedy, CROMEDY. Dessert enthusiast at Carolima's. Can I have that? Can you spell Carolina? CAROLIM as in Mary, A''S. So last year I participated in Charleston Wine and Food in Charleston, of course, and Amethyst Ganaway, she is a Dom, and she sent it to the group of female chefs that she had that assisted her with the event, and I said, this looks interesting, and I applied, and I won. I was so excited that I won because at the time I had a lot of stuff going on. So when I got the news that I had actually won, it was a great pick-me-upper. The application process was easy. I needed 2 references, so I knew exactly who I could ask for those, and both references came in really well. Yes, definitely. If you have the opportunity to, you should definitely apply. It's an awesome experience. The women, oftentimes you meet people who say that they are there to assist you, and they'll say it, they don't follow up, or even if you don't follow up. But these women, they said that they would be there for me if I need them, and they're reaching out to me before I can reach back out to them. And anything that I need, like my sister and I, if we're in a jam with a customer, or we have a question about a product, or we need to source something, Allison and her team is at the tip of my fingertip. I can email them or text them and say, hey, we're looking for such and such, or hey, Allison, we have this situation. What do you suggest? So just having them readily available for anything that we need has been amazing. And I know after I go home after the conference, the women that I've met here, they all seem really genuine as well, and they'll be available for me as well in the event that we need them going forward. I would like to thank them for having this opportunity. My New York experience all the way to my Louisville experience has been wonderful. The experience with the women in New York, and now having this whole network available at my fingertip for anything that my sister and I may need with our company. I'm grateful for it.
So my name is Tara Meineke, Tarameineke. So I am the proprietor, or we could say co-owner, either one. So my call. Do I know how to spell proprietor? Propri.
I can spell.
Okay. You want me to spell it? Hold on. Okay.
As far as
So
the winery,
proprietor is great. Yeah.
as far as the winery name, the best spell.
Oh, M Cellars. So it's the letter M and then Cellars. So I'm completely new to the La Dame des Escoffiers Association organization. It was brought to my attention from a current dame. She's in the Cleveland chapter, which is where I'm from. Destiny Burns is who pretty much brought this whole legacy experience. She had done it back in 2019, 2020, and she just thought that I would be a perfect candidate. And so kind of started that whole conversation. And in the beginning, I didn't know what to expect, and I thought, oh gosh, I don't even know if I could do that. I'm just this little human being, in this big world. And she said, no, you have so much to offer, and being an outsider, kind of looking in, you're a perfect candidate for this, so to say. So it's a funny story. We actually had an event that was occurring at the winery, and we were down in the cellar, and the day of the event was the same day that I was supposed to find out whether or not I was selected. And I was very much concerned because down in the cellar, there is no reception. So I'm in a panic, like, oh my gosh, win or lose, I'm going to miss this phone call. I know it. And so I had everybody kind of on guard. And the funny part of the story is Belinda actually called me the day before to announce that I had been selected to receive this award. So I had no idea that the phone was going to ring, and I looked at the number and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. And to my surprise, she delivered, that they had selected me, and I just took this big sigh. I mean, I was excited. I was speechless, which usually does not happen, but a big sigh of relief because I'm like, oh, I didn't miss the call. So it was exceptional, yeah. I thought my entire life that I was going to be a teacher, and I really fell in love with the whole aspect of special education when I started to get into the field. It was kind of my calling. It came natural to me. And on my times that I was not working with students with special needs, I was drinking wine, right? I mean, sometimes it was a help once in a while, and we really kind of explored other regions outside of where we were. We knew that we had grapes in Ohio. We knew we had the Grand River Valley, but we explored all other regions. And Niagara on the Lake was one of our favorites. So when I wasn't teaching, we were doing that. And it really inspired us, very long story short, to make a life change. We both enjoy doing it together. My husband got very much involved in the winemaking side of it, and I was very much into the people and the hospitality side of it. So we took a leap of faith. We purchased a vineyard. We knew that we wanted to eventually have a winery. That was the end result that we were looking for. But, I tell people it was a little bit of ignorance mixed with just a lot of bravery. And that's kind of, fast forward to today, 11 years later, and I would take that leap of faith all over again if asked. This experience and everything that LDEI does for us women in the world, it's life changing, and I couldn't ask for a better opportunity to really understand that we all have purpose and we really all are in it together, and just being welcomed in and knowing that this is a new chapter, I'm super excited for what the future holds.
Okay, so Cassandra, Cassandra, Loft Lynn, LOF is in Frank, T is in Tom, L is in Larry, IN. That's how I was taught in kindergarten how to spell it. Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, Cassandra.
So I knew about Les Dames in culinary school. The three of my instructors, who were also the only three women in the college, were members of the Les Dames Atlanta chapter, and they started talking to us about Les Dames from day one as women. And invited us to a volunteered events. Like we could get extra certificates and things if we would volunteer or help. And that's how I got started. And I just saw these women who were so powerful in doing things in the community. So I knew from 3 weeks into culinary school that I wanted to get involved some way. If you can see it, you can be it. Absolutely. Yes. Now, how I found out about the Legacy Award experience, I connected with Chef Amethyst Ganaway, and she won the experience the prior year. And when I saw what she was doing, I didn't know about it. But when I saw that she won and then she started posting about the experience, I was like, I'm applying for that next year. And I even wrote it on my calendar, like, check on website to see when the applications are due, because it just seemed like such a phenomenal way to gain experience, but also to interact with the organization. Yes, so I applied for the Journalism Award, and it's the first year that they've done the Journalism Award, and it was with the St. Louis chapter. And I had a phenomenal time. I did everything from talk to newspaper editors. I spent a day at NPR. I spent a day in a newsroom. I made a podcast. I was interviewed. I interviewed people. So every aspect of food journalism, from newspapers to books to nutrition guides to product cookbooks, I had exposure to. I loved them all, but I really enjoyed being in the newsroom and working with a podcast, because in writing you're so isolated. So it was nice to meet with people and go to group meetings or team meetings or project meetings and have that sort of when you bounce ideas off of each other and it kind of morphs into something else. That's what I enjoyed the most. Oh my gosh, I have a hilarious story. So I get the call, and Belinda Sullivan Smith calls me, and she says, congratulations, I'm calling from the Les Dames chapter. I wanted to let you know you won the Legacy Experience Award. And I'm sitting there, and I look over at my computer, and it's April 1st. And I said, this better not be a joke. Because chefs are pranksters. They're big pranksters. And I said, I'm excited and thrilled, but this better not be a joke, because it is April Fool's. And she said, I assure you, it is not a joke. And I said, okay. And then I started screaming, but I got a phone call, and I was in complete disbelief that I had won, because I knew the number of people that had applied from previous years, but also talking with friends and colleagues, they had all applied. So I was blown away. I want to say a huge thank you to the St. Louis chapter of Les Dames Escoffier International. With without this experience, I would be stuck. My career, just in the month and a half that I've been back home, has completely grown. And not only do I want to thank you for agreeing to host me, agreeing to be my mentor, but opening up yourselves personally and professionally. I had full access to the chapter, to the members, to contacts that the members have made throughout, hundreds of years if you combine it all together throughout their career, and that is something I could never pay for. The experience was incredible. I learned a lot, but what meant the most to me was dinners with your family, playing with your dog, meeting your children, riding in the car with you, hearing about your funny stories that happened to you along the way in your career. And I want to say a special thank you to Dames Millie, the president Maura, also Nina, Dame Roberta, Barbara, Angie, Kat, and also Suzanne. I met through you. I feel like I know the entire food community of Missouri, and I cannot thank you enough for how you treated me and how you welcomed me.
Hello, my name is Shari Show, SHARI, B as in Bobby, E as in elephant. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Excellent.
Well, one of the Boston Doms, Chef L. Simone Scott, sent me an email, and I opened it. I was instantly just excited by the opportunity, and I decided if she saw it in me, I needed to see it in myself. So I pursued the opportunity from there. Well, my award consisted of honestly thinking outside of the box. I was able to follow several different culinary entrepreneurs at different stages of their careers. So some are retired, some are in their second career or third. And I was able to do a food tour with Chef Jackie and be able to explore both the landscape and connect with the vendors in Philly. I was able to see how Lisa Calvo was problem solving originally and then became Sweet Amalia's Oysters. I was able to see Chef Angie Brown behind the scenes of her podcast, Bound by Fire. So I was able to to open my mind up to the different avenues and expressions of culinary arts. I think it's allowed me to blossom more. What I realized is that we all of us legacy winners and the Doms all have something special, but it took the Doms, especially of Philly, to bring it out of me. So I think I'm pursuing more opportunities than I would have before. I'm not taking no for an answer. And I get to network with so many other people that don't look like me, maybe look like me. It's amazing. Oh, wow. Okay, so the level of mentoring is phenomenal. I'm a mom of 5, and nothing about my life for the last 20 years has been about me. And for once in my life, I was listened to. I can say from the first day I got there, former legacy Jen Hersig arranged for me to tour private kitchens in my downtime. Chef Kathy Gold took me on a private tour and introduced me to several leaders in vegan cooking and in pastry arts. Lee Irwin was able to connect me to other Black and brown culinarians with Honeysuckle Provisions. So it was a super, super enriching trip because, again, most of these people, these high-level people, don't necessarily have time to, talk to little old me. So, yes, I'm just so grateful they made time. Stop counting yourself out. I learned that from Lee Irwin. She told me, she said, it may be one thing that you don't meet on the list of qualifications. That's not a reason to completely take yourself out of the game. That's something that can be built upon or something that you can grow from. So I take that with me, and that's led to some interesting experiences post legacy. So yes, I am so grateful to every person who was a part of this process. Who selected me out of the scores of women who applied themselves for this same award. Thank you so much to the Philadelphia chapter of Les Dames. Thank you to the International Board. Thank you, Chef Kathy Gold. Thank you, Alethea Irwin, and especially Jill Weber, Dr. Jill Weber. Thank you so much for your time. You women all rock. And I'm just so grateful to be taken under your wing.
Absolutely. Megan Sigurdsson, Megan Sigurdsson. I won the Hotel and Hospitality Management Legacy Award. Probably that.
Are you,
I am a food and beverage director for Kimpton Hotels and Restaurants.
would you prefer that one to?
Yeah,
Okay.
I love my company.
There you go. And so, food and beverage director for, spell that?
Kimpton, Kimpton. I actually have the honor of knowing Chef Belinda Smith Sullivan. She lives in my hometown in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And she approached me and said, "Hey, I don't know if you know much about this organization." I was actually embarrassed that I didn't know more about the DOMS organization before this, because I have participated in a farewell to Escoffier dinner at the James Beard House, and I did not know much about this organization. So she approached me and said, "You should look into it, see what piques your interest." And I went to the website. I started reading. I thought, what an incredible opportunity, and I went ahead and applied.
And?
Chef called me and I was at work, so I was like, "Okay, hi, how are you?" And she said that I had won the hospitality award, and I honestly went a little speechless for a moment. I was just so grateful for the opportunity. Yes, I think it's much easier to talk about a product or a feeling than it is about yourself at times. So it's certainly a confidence booster to know that others recognize a worth in you that you can sometimes forget about. It is such a good feeling. So it's a confidence booster, certainly. But beyond that, it's a networking opportunity. I've met so many incredible women. It's an inspirational opportunity because what a lot of these women are doing will really resonate with you, and you take it back and you want to boost other women and give back to your community and do so many enriching things that you get to see other people doing. Yes, I went to Nashville. I stayed at the Hermitage Hotel, thanks to Dee Patel. She is the operating manager there. And I got to spend a week just being a student, really. I got to shadow every department, learn about the total asset of running a hotel, not just the food and beverage side. And that's an opportunity that I wouldn't have in my day-to-day career, so I was really grateful for that.
I think you've been.
It's an uphill battle. I think you always want to have that moment of pride of, I can figure it out, I'm a smart cookie. But it does take a village to do things, and you shouldn't bear the burden on your own. And so I'm becoming more comfortable with asking for help, asking for advice, asking for partnership. I had the honor of getting to go to their annual Nashville chapter meeting while I was in Nashville for my experience, and I met so many wonderful women. But I got to then go out a couple nights later with their new chapter president, Kara, and vice president, Aaron, and get to see their restaurants and their community, and really got to engage with them. They gave me a lot of great advice on being a leader that's not afraid to ask for help, and really got to show me parts of Nashville that you don't get to see as a visitor. I was really appreciative. Absolutely. I think a good leader is always advocating for their team, but this has really rejuvenated and opened my eyes to different ways that I can be a better mentor to my team, ways that I can grow them and have them become me someday and continue up the ladder. Absolutely. I would like to thank everybody at the Nashville chapter of LDEI, as well as the International Committee. I would like to thank Dee Patel for hosting me, Kara and Aaron for welcoming me into the Nashville scene. I would like to thank Helen and Belinda for everything. We had a lot of communication issues, emails not going through, and they were so patient and so helpful and really believed in all of us, and I'm very grateful.
Katie Natale. Katie, Natale, Natale, culinary instructor, Dallas chapter. Well, besides getting away from daily duties, seeing a new city, meeting new people, for me it's expanding a bit of professional development for being an educator, going to the sessions, learning, how can I implement it into my classroom, how can I teach students something that I've learned here. Seeing the Women of Purpose, the Legacy Awards, hearing from them, it's so inspiring. It's bringing tears to my eyes to hear and see the literal impact right in front of us that this organization has. So it can be very full circle for pounding the pavement at your house and at your chapter to coming here and seeing what it is really doing and helping real lives. Yeah, you said the giver. You know, there, as nonprofit, we give our time, our efforts. We're constantly trying to not just improve our organization at the chapter level of operations and communications, but we're giving our yeah, and our hearts and desires and our dreams to help others. And then you come here and you see it. You see the people who've received, and it just fills your bucket. It just fills you back up. It gives you that repurpose to go back and implement and energize the rest of the members. And it's constantly recharges, really. New York City being my first conference really New York City being my first conference really set the bar. Louisville is just knocking it out of the park, and I can't wait to see what Phoenix does next year.